It's time to start prepping the house for painting. There's no more putting it off. I'm just like the messiest painter that probably ever lived. Starting to look like Dexter up in here. I love that it's starting to get windy right now. Oh! Oh, this is gonna be fun. All right, today's the day. It's time to start prepping the house for painting. There's no more putting it off. I already got the chimney painted last week. All the trim and gutters are done. So now, unfortunately, I have to do the part that scares me because it's just the fear of the unknown. What could go wrong? I'm afraid I'm gonna get overspray in places that I don't want it. So I'm just gonna start off with taping up all of the windows, and then I will go from there, tape up the floor, and then I need to decide if I'm gonna tape off the soffits or if I'm just gonna use that spray shield. I might get a couple practice passes with the Wagner sprayer that I'm gonna be using, and then make a decision if I need to tape off the soffits or if I feel like I have good control with the sprayer. We are gonna learn how to use this paint sprayer together, but I've never used it before. So let's get to taping. You gotta see this butterfly right here. Okay. Oh, there he goes. Starting to look like Dexter up in here. All right, as you can probably tell, I decided to go ahead and tape off the soffits too. It's gonna be a little bit windy tomorrow. I know you're not supposed to spray paint when it's windy, so just to play it safe, I am gonna tape off the soffits. This is my first time ever using this paint sprayer, and I think it would be wise of me to go the extra mile and tape it off. I need to practice using this sprayer before I get too cocky and think that I can cut without taping off the soffits. I don't know how much overspray there's gonna be, but this is gonna let me just whip through the painting really fast because I won't have to worry so much about being careful. Everything that I don't want painted is just gonna be taped off, which is taking longer than I expected, but you know, I'm whizzing through it. Tomorrow I will finish in the morning taping off, and then I need to rake out some of the mulch from the planter so that I can get up close to the house. I got some paper to lay down on the floor, and then we'll be ready to spray. And that should be super quick. I'll probably get this project done in 2 days. The siding, that is. A day of prepping and a day of spraying, as long as everything goes to plan. Also, a tree fell. I don't know when this tree fell, but there is a tree in my yard. I don't know if I should take this as a sign that I'm supposed to get my trees trimmed because I keep putting it off because it's so expensive. The 2 quotes I got were between $3,000 and $5,000, but that is kind of scary because if something like that were to fall on my house, that's freaky. But hey, now I'm gonna have lots of firewood. All right, I just finished taping up all the doors and the soffits. This 24-inch tape worked really well on the soffits. It was like the perfect size. And then the bigger one was great for the windows and doors. So I'm glad that I ended up getting both. Now I need to go ahead and rake up all of the mulch that's close to the house and lay down some paper, tarps, whatnot. Figure it out as I go. Look, some things just have to look worse before they can look better. Eventually I'm gonna rip all of these up and completely start from scratch. But now I can get to the wall more easily. I really don't care about the overspray on the mulch and plants because I plan on digging them up anyways, but I don't want the dirt and the mulch to flick up when I'm spraying and get onto the wall. So that's why I'm trying to cover up the dirt with all the paper and all the drop cloths that I have. I'll use the spray shield to get in the edges. All right, the time is finally here to spray. And I'm gonna be breaking out a brand new paint sprayer. This is the Wagner Control Pro 150. And it's cool because I am going to be able to just stick the hose right into the bucket. I love that it's starting to get windy right now. I'd be lying to you if I acted like I wasn't nervous right now. Oh God, I don't even have the spray tip on. All right, it's in the paint. The worst thing that could happen is that I get paint on this concrete and then I just have to paint it a fun color. All right, here we go. Oh. Okay, I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of it. You have to do short, quick strokes, otherwise it gets clogged up really quick. But the great thing is all you have to do is turn the tip the other way and shoot it into that box, and it clears the spray nozzle out. But I've been using a lot of paint because I'm not doing it very efficiently. I might have to go back and get more paint. Definitely a noob. I wish I wore my spray suit. Oh my God, so I used all 5 gallons of the paint somehow, and I didn't even finish the first coat. And it's 5 o'clock now, so I just ran to Sherwin-Williams to get another 5 gallons, spent another $420, and now I gotta hurry up and run back and try to finish the first coat before the sun sets. Oh my goodness. And I got paint all over my butt. See if I can wrap this up before dark. Coat number 1's done. Should have just one more day of work. Get the second coat done in the morning, and then I'm gonna have to go through and do touch-ups and pull all the tape off. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is why it's great to read the instruction manuals. There is a way to do short-term storage, so you can do it if you have to run to the paint store like I just did, or if you want to leave it overnight, but no longer than 16 hours, you can store more easily rather than having to clean everything out. So I will clean everything out tomorrow rather than having to do it twice. I was rushing, panicking, trying to get to the store to get the coat done and try to finish because I didn't want to have to clean the sprayer out twice, but I wouldn't have finished the second coat today anyways. It's already almost 6. So let's wrap this thing up for the day. So all I had to do was wrap a wet rag around the spray tip and then wrap a plastic bag around the entire gun. And then I'm gonna pour half a cup of water in the top of this, and I can just leave it overnight and it'll be fine for up to 16 hours. So tomorrow I will just stir it back in and get right back to spraying. I love that. So I won't have to clean the system out twice. Hopefully the cleaning process won't be too difficult, but we'll find out tomorrow. It's a tomorrow problem. All right, I'm gonna throw a trash bag over top too, just for, oh my God. I'm a wreck. I'm just like the messiest painter that probably ever lived. I have a lot of bugs out here, so I am going to put this bag over it just for good measure. Oh, did it again. I need to go scrub myself off in the shower. This has been way messier than I expected, mostly because I just don't know what I'm doing. I can definitely say that as I've gone around the house, I've definitely gotten more efficient with both the spray shield and the system. I think that the second coat's gonna go a lot smoother tomorrow. But my biggest key takeaway from today is that if it's your first time using a new sprayer, go ahead and just tape everything off, including the trim, and just practice using the spray shield with it taped off. I now ended up creating more work for myself because I'm gonna have to come back and touch up some of my overspray and recut some of this green by hand. But you know, it was a learning lesson. I definitely, as I went around the house, got a little bit better at cutting with the spray shield, but I think I prefer to just tape everything off and not have to even worry about the spray shield and just go at it, get around the house quick, paint the siding quick. So if I were to redo this process, I would have just went ahead and taped off the few pieces of trim that I didn't tape off. It wouldn't have taken me that much longer. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I have gotten over 10,000 steps and I haven't even gone for a walk. All right, I'm excited to see how fast I can get the second coat knocked out today, because yesterday it took me like 2.5 to 3 hours. So let's see if I got any more efficient. This area over here where I painted over all the electrical boxes and cords and stuff is looking so much better. And I accidentally got some overspray on the bottom of this hose that goes to my mini split, and the paint adhered to it well, so I'm just gonna go ahead and paint the whole thing. Instead of taking the time to tape that off, I should have just taken the time to tape off the trim and gutters rather than use that stupid spray shield. All right, it's noon. Took me about as long, maybe a little bit quicker to do the second coat, but now I'm ready to clean up. I'm gonna go in and take a lunch break, clean all this mess up, and then I'm gonna have to come back and do some touch-ups with a brush. Hopefully that won't take too long, and the house is painted. Ready to move on to the next project soon. I'm gonna send a picture to Mom and see what she thinks about it. She saw a little sneak peek on my Instagram yesterday and said the color is beautiful. It really is beautiful. It's looking so nice. I'm excited to peel off the tape. My disappointment for my little overspray mishaps, I'm not so worried about now. It's no big deal. I can come back with a little piece of sandpaper and a brush. We had an oopsies. There's really been a lot of learning lessons, and I've been thinking about it. If I were to come back and redo this project knowing what I know now, I probably would have still hand painted the primer on the gutters, but then I would have went ahead and taped off all of the soffits and sprayed the gutters. Probably sprayed the trim too. It's really faster to spray it. I spent so many days just painting the gutters, and I think I could have probably cut down because I ended up having to tape off all of the soffits anyways. And for me to have spray painted the gutters, all I would have really had to do was tape off the soffits and then put some cardboard on top of the gutters, and I could have just sprayed them. It would have been a lot faster, but you know, lessons learned. I may have still brushed and rolled the trim though, because the window trim and stuff, that was relatively fast. It was really the gutters that took me so long to hand paint. I can't even begin to tell you how good it feels to be done painting the house. I'm super excited to get this patio set up. I am gonna go ahead and put the old patio furniture back in here and take pictures and list it for sale on Facebook Marketplace before I move the new patio furniture from the trailer into here. Gonna get some nice pictures. Hopefully I can get my money back. I bought this old set for only $100. And I think I can definitely get $100 back out of it. So let's get that moved back in here, listed on Facebook Marketplace, and give you a tour around the freshly painted house. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff listed and hopefully it'll sell really fast because I'm gonna be prepping for vintage market days starting Monday and I need to get that other patio furniture out of my trailer. So next week's video is gonna be taking the patio furniture out of the trailer, setting up this patio really cute with some string lights around the porch. I saw this really cute patio at this restaurant called The Yearling in Florida. It's a very old Florida place. And it was just such a cute little patio. And I actually have lights just like that my dad gave me. So I want to see if I have enough of them to go around the whole patio. And then eventually I will be hanging string lights again over by the fire pit because the ones I had broke within literally 2 weeks. So I returned them to Amazon. Hopefully I can find a better brand. And I'm gonna have to pause on the outdoor projects for a little while because I have vintage market days coming up. But then after that, I'm really looking forward to building the shutters, starting a garden, doing a planter in the front, eventually doing a whole roundabout section in the front yard of plants. But I got a lot of research to do before I start going and buying plants. But it's really nice seeing this place come together, and this backyard is going to be so nice, especially once I get a nice dining room set here with an umbrella. I'll eventually paint that shed. For right now, it doesn't bother me as much because it's at least clean. And then I have to clean up this little area where the shed used to be, and I'd like to start a garden here. I am truly so happy with how this house turned out. I am absolutely in love with the color that I chose. I think it blends in so perfectly with the background of this yard, and it gives it that true old Florida feeling rather than the previous old paint job that was very dull and had so much blue undertone. It didn't really blend in, which is what I was going for. It's so great to see the vision that I had in the mock-up starting to come to life. It's really, truly the perfect medium dark green so that I can add in those darker green shutters, have the wood front door and the wood garage door. Once I add the planters in under the window, it's really gonna fill the space out nice, and this whole yard is gonna start looking so nice. To top it all off, it's crazy how much better the roof looks too now that I'm going back and looking at the footage of when I first bought this property. And it's such a heartwarming feeling to see it finally start coming together. Thank you so much for sticking around on this journey. There are still a lot more projects to come. Look at her go! You love it! You love it, Hannah! Beautiful, bellissimo! Wow, it's so pretty. She's my girl.